Welcome to Toffee TV. Momentous day. Momentous day in Everton's history. Not only have we appointed a world-class manager to take the club forward, we've also submitted our planning application for a world-class stadium. Look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm joined by John Blaine, chairman of the Everton Shareholders Association, also a key part of Everton Business Matters podcast and a regular on Toffee TV as well. John,
it's cool, isn't it?
The day is before us. The day has happened, which we've, as you've sat in a lot of briefings like we have all the way through, and they've talked about this day going forward. That day is here. Everton have submitted planning permission for a 52,000-seater stadium on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey. Feels good.
It's cool, yeah. I think it's good that the club's walked the talk. I mean, technically, they've done exactly what they said they were going to do, submit a planning application before the end of the year.
They have, yeah.
Despite people thinking, no, it's going to be January and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, really pleased. The stuff that came, well, we saw some press release stuff last night, didn't we? So the images, which that's a brand new one, with the Everton thing gone, which makes it look better. So Ped got his way, yeah. They listened to you, Ped.
You didn't like that Everton.
Yeah, they listened to you, mate, yeah. And then, you know, the flyby stuff that shows the concourse area, doesn't it, across there?
Up there, yeah.
It's all great, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is some subtle changes which are nice, and there's more detail, like the tram lines and stuff in the fan park bit, and like you say, the concourse area.
Moving the multi-storey car park.
The multi-storey car park moved, so it looks like it's part of the structure now, which I think's really good. But that concourse bit you talked about in the CGI flyby,
that's in the south stand,
which is in the south, which looks brilliant with the glass, but the width of it and the bar and people sitting off. And I imagine it's probably like that all up, not necessarily with the glass view behind you, but the wideness of the concourse. They're going to create kind of street bar food, you know, like that kind of feel to it, which they've said when we've had the briefings and such. So it is really exciting. I mean, this period now, Everton have done all they can, haven't they, up to now? So
yes,
it's a little bit of limbo, isn't it? It's waiting for. I mean, what do you foresee, like time scale wise? Without obviously just guessing, aren't you?
But it's how long's a piece of string, isn't it? I mean, what the club have always said, rightly so, is that from now on, it's outside of their hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it goes into the planning process, and presumably the Secretary of State might look at it and those sorts of things. But Tick done it from the club's perspective until they get some feedback, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, the statutory period for answering our planning application is 16 weeks. So
April then.
Well, is that 16 weeks
probably
from now?
Probably a bit less than that. Yeah, it's probably end of March maybe.
Yeah,
so.
March, April. Clearly, that might be we don't like it. Do it again. Yeah. It might be we're happy with it, but somebody over there has complained and the Secretary of State's going to look at it, or it might be off you go.
Yeah, okay.
And all things are possible, I suppose. So let's wait and see, really.
Yeah.
I think when I've met with the club, certainly when the Shareholders Associations have met with the club, I ask questions, and I suppose in some respects I make it easy for them to answer them.
Okay.
But they're anticipating, you know, a response sometime between February, March and July, which is quite a broad window.
Yeah.
And that's related to what goes on with World Heritage and stuff, you know, where the city's got to do what it's got to do by February. UNESCO will say what they're going to say sometime in July, I think. And our decision will be somewhere in between, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's build a damn thing. So, it'll be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, Everton have been at pains to say in the briefings we've had that they've tried to look at it from every angle. They've had people going through it, you know, legal people looking at which angle the planners could come down on, or if it does go to the Secretary of State. So that they've been able to ward off those concerns by doing over and above what they've needed to do, so that if, you know, certainly with the public consultation and stuff like that, there's a lot of things they'll have dealt with in that as well, so that if it does go to the government to be called in, it probably will
it's inevitable.
Possibly.
No, it's inevitable.
Oh, it's inevitable. So they'll look at it. And if you've got answers to what their concerns are, because you've done more work than you needed to, which is essentially what Everton have done, that should be quite a smooth process. If someone says, hang on, what about this? And you can go, well, actually, there's the data for that. and there's the data.
I think some people get hung up about some of these things because we're not planning experts, are we?
No,
you know.
No.
And so getting called in makes people think, oh my God, it's Kirby, it's a public inquiry, that takes forever, and those sorts of things. That calling in can be something as simple as Secretary of State gets his folder or her folder out, has a look at it and goes, oh, Liverpool think this is a good idea. That's what they're objecting. I'll dismiss that or agree or whatever. Off you go. So it doesn't have to be forever. But I think we've said this here, I think, and we've certainly said it on Everton Business Matters. The whole intention of this slow-ish, methodical, cover all the bases type approach we've had is to front load all the work to ease the planning decision.
Of course,
rather than get into a situation where you chuck in a half-baked planning application, or even a good one, but as you say, don't go the extra mile, and then you have to answer all those questions. So you rather hope, and this is the intention, that every goddamn question that Historic England, if that's what they're still called, Historic England or UNESCO or the Liverpool City region or the City Council itself, everyone who might want to ask questions has already asked them. And we, with 60,000 survey results to play with, we certainly know what the citizens think,
of course.
And all that good stuff. And therefore you end up hopefully putting before the planning committee a portfolio that says, there you go, that's our application. And in there is every goddamn question anyone could possibly ask, and we've answered them. And therefore you hopefully accelerate or make it easy for them to make a decision. And I just think hopefully that'll get done quite quickly, maybe in government processes quite quickly as those 2 or 3, 4 months. And then you're just into that last hurdle of, whether there'll be a central government objection or listening to objections from other organisations. And then we're into build the thing, assuming the money's in place. So,
well, come on to the money in a minute. From that survey, obviously everything was 90-odd, high 90s for, even non-Everton fans, Liverpool fans who'd filled it in, mostly 90-odd% were in favour of it. So, when you go down to Bramley Moon, anyone who's doesn't know the area, there's nothing there.
Does anyone listen to your show that
nothing? No, there'll be people abroad though who probably won't have it. We've done a video a while ago.
Point people at the video that you did.
That me and McPartland dancing, but around there, there's nothing going on
desolate,
there. It's desolate. So it'd be very, in my opinion, it would be very difficult to not grant Everton planning permission. And what it would do is totally regenerate that area. They're talking 15,000 up to 15,000 jobs. It's the bookend then of the city. It will start the regeneration process going back to the new ferry terminal as part of the 10 Streets development. It goes back, so
I'll tell you what I was looking at.
You were looking for some.
I will tell you what it is in a second.
But it stretches the whole of town as well and regenerates. So it's a fantastic opportunity for the city. Yes, I'm going to say that because I'm an Evertonian. It's the ground, but it also, if we had if our stadium at Goodison had been rebuilt and it was great and Liverpool were going down there, you'd go, good for the city if it's going to create jobs and everything else. So it is what it is. You have to look past that sometimes. But I think it'd be very difficult for anybody to question it and not grant it, you see, because it's otherwise, you're happy with a derelict area then.
Exactly right. I had not a long debate on Twitter this morning with this guy, and that's what I was looking for.
Oh, okay,
And I said something and he had a bit of a laugh, but he finished off and said, I guess so. I'm just looking forward to the Liverpool Waters project getting rushed along off the back of it.
Oh, okay.
So this is a guy who wants clearly this to happen, to actually deliver
to kickstart
what Denise and the club have been saying, which is we kickstart the whole redevelopment of that area. Liverpool Waters accelerates. God knows how many streets are involved now going inland and so on and so forth. What's his name?
Darren_LFC.
So that's a Liverpool fan.
No, but
and there's thousands who've done the survey. So it's the city wants this to happen. And the mayor of Liverpool this morning, Joe Anderson, he said this is great for Everton, momentous day sort of thing. They've submitted, but it's great for the city as well. So clearly Liverpool City Council minimally in the guise of okay, and he's going to get some stick because he's an Evertonian and all that. But Steve Rotherham's fully behind it as the LCR mate, and he's a red. This is not optional. It's almost mandatory, you know. And so no disrespects to anybody, but you know, if we end up with some puerile objections about we've got a wall that's a few miles long and you can't put holes in it to let people in and out, when we're talking about hundreds of millions of
a wall that was built to stop thieving,
getting in, it
wasn't built as any architectural.
It's to keep people out, you know, and so on. Then they just look at that, don't they?
Of course. Listen,
is that lifting the area? Yes or no?
Yes.
And if everything between that and I don't know, pick the terminal or something gets filled in with whatever offices, retail, properties, the whole 9 yards.
The whole waterfront.
It's tremendous,
and it's fantastic for the city.
And even our colleagues next door here.
Oh yeah, the lads are
fully supportive. The chief executive of Liverpool Football Club supportive.
You've got Peter Moore saying it's
got to be.
It's got to happen.
It becomes a very no-brainer type thing, and let's make sure that the Everton way gets rewritten to mean success, and this is a when, not an if. And up to today, it was all if, wasn't it? We would easily say, wouldn't we, people in conversations, if we submit the planning application on time, if this happens, if that happens, if the other happens, people like Mo and the other people, and Colin, who've been working it.
Fantastic.
Mo's done a tremendous job doing all the PR and getting out with the road show, which some people laughed at. What's all that about? Well, what that's about is
access to people.
It's getting 60,000 people to do a survey, of which a big chunk of them don't give a damn about our football club, but they all give a damn about our city. And it's one of the great cities in the world, and that thing will draw attention to it. It really will.
As well.
It really will. So
so
it's when it gets built, not if.
100%.
It has to be.
When the planning permission is granted, and then the
there you go.
Spade goes.
That's
in
good. You're not even saying if. No, it's when it gets granted.
When, without a shadow.
I'd just love to know who on a planning committee in this city is going to stick their hand up and say no.
No,
because
it's not a chance. I've got, honest to God, I'm 100% convinced that it's going to go through without anything. I really am.
Archive that, Billy.
I think I am. Well, I'm convinced.
I think the audience should be as well.
I'm convinced, and I'm going to stay positive about it.
You have to.
Why not? Just finally, then you mentioned it before, the finance thing.
Yeah.
I know Everton have. Denise again she's done an interview, obviously, to a company with the plan.
The
plan
right,
application
and the narrative for it as well.
Yeah, and stuff. And she said, we haven't revealed our financial thing because we'll do that once planning permission's granted and stuff like that. I mean, have you got any concerns about the finances of it? Because I know that at first it seemed very likely it was going to be the council funded.
Not for a long time though.
But then that changed, didn't it? People weren't happy with that in the city, despite the fact it would have brought us £7 million every year into the city coffers, which we need, trust me. But Everton, it seems, it seems like it'll be privately funded. Don't know by who and don't know what. But do you have any worries about the finances of it, or do you think it's gone so far that?
Well, a couple of things there, isn't there? One is, I think the city had some political activity going on, which was resistant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think they've done those resistors have done the city a disservice. Because what they've done is made it too hard and difficult. So clearly, Everton have gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
When we talked about this on Business Matters, we really laid it on quite thick, and we did a great interview up in the Radio City Tower with Joe. That he'd done a really good job extracting the deal out of Everton that he'd extracted. Because what that had bedded into it was, I think, some social commitment by the football club, that it wasn't going to be the cheapest way for the club to borrow the money, but it was probably a better way. And then the politics kicked in, and before you know it, it's too hard and difficult. So they've gone elsewhere, right?
Which is frustrating. If you forget about football.
It is.
But just from a city point of view, we've lost a good bit of revenue each year.
For every Darren you've just seen, there's a red going. Council tax stadium, who are way out of date,
And they had that division that the city, the council were paying for it.
Yeah.
Not, it was a loan. They were paying for it, and you're like... But anyway, So,
you know,
so
insight
Everton moved
is a
somewhere,
wonderful thing. I would find it almost incredulous if we submitted a planning application, got it approved, and then went, oops, we haven't got the money.
Yeah, of course.
So clearly the money is in place. Time will tell whether it's a good deal or not. What we do know that on looking at markets and stuff, that it will probably create a debt repayment need of whatever it is, 20 odd million pounds a year. And then that's perhaps not for now because it's a good news story. That'll bring ticket pricing, the capacity and all those things back into play. But I've got no concerns they're going to get it built now. None at all. Right now.
Yeah.
Reserve the right to change my mind.
Listen, we don't know the ins and outs of it, so of course we're just trying to guess at the moment, aren't we?
But we wouldn't be submitting it surely if we didn't have the wherewithal
and
to build it. And
the club spent in the region of £25 million already or something on the site and preparing it and architect stuff.
It's less than Tosun cost.
It is. So yeah, I mean,
sorry,
I was going to say something, I'm not going to. But yeah, you're right. But that's still a big commitment. £25 million is a commitment to something.
It is, yeah.
And where it is and everything else, I don't think they'd have any issue attracting investors. To be honest with you, I mean, there's ways to get the money in. There's a big investor with a yacht who would probably just pay it off in one go.
When you look at that, it's a bit like your Ancelotti thing.
Yeah.
You think, really? Us?
Yeah.
I mean, if that was the other shower building it, you'd be jealous as hell.
Oh, without a shadow.
Because it's beautiful.
And they will be. Yeah. They will be, really. But I think the ones, they will be that jealousy, but they're also ones who can see past that. And
these lads next door, certainly.
Well, you look past it and you go, well, you know what, we're happy with what we've got. You know, they're world champions, so European champions, so they can be happy with it. And they've got a big stadium, they're building another big stand behind the goal. So, you know, we may as well back this because it benefits the city. So,
just means we'll get more in the Annie Road, won't it, when it comes to it?
It does, yeah. Just might get 3,100 instead of 2,900, but we'll see.
There'll be 8,000 next year.
Yeah, there will in the cup. You're absolutely right. There you go. Big thanks to John for joining me on this. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Did you think this day would come, or were you sceptical? Now it's in. Are you confident that we will be playing Premier League football in 2023 at Bramley Moor Dock? I am. We'll be kicking off August with all kinds of... Might have won everything by then. But now, in all seriousness, are you happy, delighted that it's gone in before Christmas? And are you confident? And are you looking forward to going there? If not, what reservations have you got? Big thanks to John.
Can't wait.
No, I can't wait either. Thumbs up the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Join us on Patreon if you want more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good Christmas. See you later.
Have a good one.